It is April 5th, and I am dressed as close as I can right down now to my Mets garb. It's not the perfect orange and blue, but the rest of my clothing is in a home that I can't get to because of COVID. So, best I can do. And unfortunately, there is no season yet. This would have been the sixth meeting of the Mets against the world champion Nationals, and by my prediction, 5 out of 6 would have been W's. The Mets are my sleeper pick if there is a season. And here's why. I like their new manager. Their manager is still in his 30s and has never played a day in the major leagues. He is Luis Rojas. He has a good pedigree. He is the son of Felipe Alou. The fact that he has never been in the majors, I think, is an asset. That wasn't the case 30 years ago. The old guy who's been managing for a long time, seen kids up through the system, very valuable. But things have changed a lot in the last even 5 years, and things will be changing very quickly. And I will put a prediction out there right now. There will be no manager in my lifetime who ever reaches the World Series in consecutive years, doesn't mean win, reach the World Series in consecutive years, who is older, been out of the league for more than 20 years. The days, I believe, of a Bobby Cox, a Joe Torre, a Joe Madden, older guys whose wisdom from many years of managing, whose age itself might have been an asset, I just don't think is going to carry that far. Young coaches in other leagues do very well, and I think you're going to see youth in baseball as coaches doing very well, especially if Mr. Rojas basically lets the many Dominican and Latin American players do what they want. Just play. And I don't know if that's his attitude. Let me manage. You put your skills into the play that you most want. A manager deserves to be separate. But by the way, he is from the Dominican, and I think relationships and language itself matters a lot to some players. Yeah, even at the professional level, relationships matter. So here's a young guy, never played in the league, but he's been a long-time manager, a successful one in the minor leagues, and clearly has an ability to get a lot out of his players. Good. And if it's kept separate, that this is the manager's role, and those many players have their roles, I think it's a good formula. One of the more intriguing managers in baseball never wore the uniform of the rest of his players, okay? This was Connie Mack, and he refused to don the same garb. He would sit in the dugout in a suit. I like that too. Now, Connie was successful in a way. He managed for 50 years. He was kind of a bastard, though, because he didn't pay his players when they succeeded well, got rid of a quarter of his team every single year because he was a part owner, and he made money even with losing teams. So I won't call him the best of managers, but intriguing in a way. Things have changed in baseball so much and will continue to change so rapidly that it's a lot harder for that old seasoned coach to adapt. The days of the guy who's been out of the league for 20, 25 years, putting his arm around the player saying, son, when I was in the majors, this is how we bunted. A lot harder now, when bunts may not matter, when the 3-1 homer is a lot more important, when even defenses change from player to player, sometimes even pitch to pitch, when there's no such thing as a complete game, almost, when there's, for some teams, not even a starting pitcher. They have openers who are expected to go 1 inning, maybe 2, and then they will yield. When you have defensive alignments that will alternate based on who's pitching. When the measurements of success have changed, batting average is almost useless in this day of OPS. The runs produced are finally a factor instead of average. And I'm at the periphery of knowledge, okay? There's so many more things I don't know. I attend one game every like 2 years. So with all the fast changes, I wouldn't expect that longtime coach to have the kind of success that some older longtime coaches did. I'll make one exception. The team that hires Brad Ausmus, if he is to start or complete a season, will do well. He's really smart, excellent role model. I still don't think they'll beat out the Mets. Mets are my NL champions if there is a 2020 season. All right. Thanks for listening. More later.